Dear student, let us talk about one of the most important and major metabolic pathway, that is glycolysis. Glycolysis is very crucial. It's crucial not only because it yields energy, it's also crucial because it yields energy when other metabolic pathways cannot give energy. When glycolysis is proceeding, the final product it gives is pyruvate. The pyruvate then gives rise to three other fates, other pathways. So, in this way, the fate of glycolysis, that what will be the final pathway which will be given out of the glycolysis, it depends upon the fate of the pyruvate. That also tells you the importance of glycolysis. Is indispensable because the organisms which don't have, for instance, mitochondria, जिनमें माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया नहीं है, तो लिहाजा एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन नहीं हो सकती, because they can't make use of oxygen. Then how they will produce energy? Because you have learned that electron transport chain depends upon oxygen for the formation of ATP. So, in the absence of oxygen, there are certain molecules, certain organisms which still can produce ATP because of the process of glycolysis. Similarly, in your body also, there are certain conditions when glycolysis yields ATP, when it is the major component where there is no aerobic respiration. Also, it is universal. It is as I have told you, there are organisms like prokaryotes, like yeast, where they do not have this mechanism to handle oxygen. In those also glycolysis takes place. That makes very universal. That also makes it one of the most ancient way of, सबसे पुराना कदीम तरीका, ancient way of producing energy. And in this way, from unicellular to multicellular organisms, in all the organisms, glycolysis is universal. Originated in early evolution also, the process of glycolysis, and when the earth was very new, we can think of that whole system of living things. Only prokaryotes were there, and for their survival, for their maintenance, they needed energy. And even in the very primitive stage of the earth's life history, glycolysis was the major metabolic pathway. Let's talk about the reactions of glycolysis. We have divided it into two phases. One is in which energy is used, energy is invested, known as energy investment phase. In the other, in which energy is yielded, energy is produced, known as energy generated phase. Both are important, equally important, because both are dependent upon each other. So, let us start with the energy invested, energy investment pathway. First of all, there is the glucose phosphorylation. Keep in mind that whenever you are talking about different reactions of glycolysis, or next topic we will be talking about different pathways, you should know which sort of enzymes are used, what is the nature of the reaction, that is whether it is reversible or irreversible, दोनों तरफ जाता है या एक ही साइड पर जाता है, how much ATP is produced if it is used or if it is produced, and what sort of regulation takes place, and of course, what are the reactant and products. It is good that you do not only memorize the names of the reactant and products, you also know a little bit of the structural formula of those reactant and products, because without structural formula you cannot really delve deep into this subject. You should know that this is carbohydrate, what sort of carbohydrate, is it triose, is it hexose, and so on and so forth. So, the first of the reaction is the formation of glucose. From glucose glucose 6 phosphate from glucose is simply requires the phosphorylation step, which means one molecule of ATP will be invested here. Here you can see a molecule of ATP is used here, and that phosphorylation, that's utilization of ATP leads to the formation of glucose 6 phosphate. There is an enzyme hexokinase. Actually, hexokinases are of 4 types, 4 isoforms. Isoforms mean different, which are different forms of an enzyme which are being translated from, although from same or different genes, but at least which have structural similarities. So, they are known as glucose kinases, they are known as hexokinases, but at the end of the day they produce the glucose 6 phosphate. Also keep in mind that because mammals have specific compartmentalization of their cellular environment, somewhere there is liver which may have hepatocytes, then lung cells, and then heart cells, and then muscle cells. So, depending upon the need of the cells, you will have these different isoforms of the hexokinases. Then there is second reaction, which is the glucose 6 phosphate isomerization, जिसमें कि आइसोमराइज होता है कि मतलब मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मूला तो वही रहता है, स्ट्रक्चरली थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट हो जाता है वो मॉलिक्यूल. तो इट इज द एंजाइम विच इज इन्वॉल्व इज phosphoglucose isomerase, and as a result of this you get fructose 6 phosphate. This is a reversible reaction, by the way, very important reaction. Here comes the formation of fructose 1,6 biphosphate. It is one of the most important reaction of glycolysis because of its regulatory importance. It's involved in the regulation of the glycolysis. No other reaction of glycolysis is so much, I would say, so much important as far as the regulation is concerned. There are different molecules which are involved in the regulation of glycolysis through this reaction. For instance, ATP. If you have more ATP, of course, then this reaction will be halted and the glycolysis will also be halted because you don't need ATP. Glycolysis is done for the formation of ATP. You already have ATP because of the feedback mechanism, you won't need any. Then very important compound is one of the most potent regulator of glycolysis is fructose 2,6 biphosphate. It is also involved in the regulation of it more and more. It's a positive regulator, so that it will enhance the regulation. It will enhance the glycolysis process. ATP is again utilized here. So, it's the energy investment phase. So, you get fructose 1,6 biphosphate, and in the next step, in with the enzyme, in the presence of enzyme aldolase, you get the splitting of fructose 1,6 biphosphate. This splitting of fructose 1,6 biphosphate in the presence of aldolase gives rise to two important compounds. Now keep in mind the new two compounds formed here are dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. They are trioses, they are not the hexoses. ये तीन कार्बन मॉलिक्यूल वाले compounds हैं. Also keep in mind that the enzyme here is triose phosphate isomerase. First is aldolase, which gives rise to the formation of this the splitting product, and then dihydroxyacetone phosphate under the action of triose phosphate isomerase enzyme give us the glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate compound. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is very readily converted into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate compound. So, as a result of this, if you see more, focus it a little bit more, you will see that you will get two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate now. One which is directly formed by the splitting of fructose 1,6 biphosphate, and then the second which is formed by the conversion of dihydroxyacetone phosphate. From now onward, it means you will be dealing with two molecules. So, you started with one molecule of glucose, but after the splitting of fructose 1,6 biphosphate, you are having 2 molecules, and whatever is utilized here or whatever will be given here will be in the form of 2 molecules. This is again the dihydroxyacetone phosphate giving rise to glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So, you have seen that there were 2 molecules of ATP which was utilized here. One, when glucose was converted into glucose 6 phosphate, and then when fructose 6 phosphate was converted into fructose 1,6 biphosphate. So, 2 molecules have been invested. With the formation of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, you ended up with the utilization of 2 ATP molecules, and this is all about the energy investment phase of the glycolysis.